Real talk, culture, chaos, and community combined to show you what lies over here in Oregon. All right, today's episode, the Epstein file vote and Oregon's exploding whale.
Relatable.
Now, absolutely. Welcome back. Episode 2, Ozone Podcast. We in the house, Southern Oregon tuned in, and we already in the chaos. Today's headline, Congress just voted on releasing the Epstein files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for strange news, Oregon's historical masterpiece, the exploding whale. And why are we talking about the exploding whale in this episode? It's because of the whale that just got euthanized the other day, you cons.
Understand that at all.
Yeah, I know, right? So
we carry water buckets for fires heavier than that whale. Couldn't we just pull it 100 yards off the beach? I don't understand.
I don't have a whole lot of information on the reasoning why, because I'm sure they didn't really, expand on the.
No, it seems like they tried pretty hard. I mean, even the locals are down there. There's got to be some kind of
right. But what I'm getting at is our infrastructure entities that would be in charge of spending a good dollar amount on a rescue effort, such as a chopper that has the capability of moving the whale back up into the water.
But back in 1970, we had the tax money for all that dynamite.
Actually, it was the loggers that did that. So we'll get into that here in a little while. No doubt. And then our CD cover vote, so we'll get into that too.
Yes.
We're not going to reveal it yet, but we'll get into that as well. So welcome back, Ozone Podcast Episode 2, baby. I'm happy to be here.
But thank you guys for listening to the first one. If you did, we really appreciate it.
Yeah. So before we get into the madness, man, how was your week? How was the pod?
It's good, man. Just working. Son's 11th birthday this last weekend, so
that's right.
Only one show this week, and they scheduled it that way. And it was just nice I consider it a weekend off. It's nice to sit back and relax. And
so you went one show this week versus how many?
2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly.
It slows down in the wintertime.
Right.
As soon as summertime comes back around, we're back at the grind. I do 4 shows a week live, and then we do band practice, and we're doing this. So I like to stay busy,
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, same here. Pretty much between trying to figure out the medical insurance scam of America, without selling a kidney. But,
right. Just in case.
I'm in my 40s now, and I got a bunch of tests that need to be done and stuff like that, and so out-of-pocket expense, I'm gonna have to do like a whole fucking spreadsheet on this. You know what I mean? It's gonna be outrageous.
Even when you do get it, man, you have all these extra charges, or they only cover a percentage of a lot of things, depending on what's necessary. It's a lot of fine print. I mean, so much. I don't think you could ever. Probably more than you could read in a year sometimes.
Well, and then you have to trust their bullet-pointed spec sheet, right?
And it changes. And that's the other thing.
It changes. And then we don't read the fine print. We may do an episode on medical coverage and the conspiracies behind that and the Luigi. We're gonna jump right into it. The headline: Epstein files and today's vote at the House of Representatives. Transparency or political theater? And why now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's interesting time. Interesting time for sure.
Yeah, no, I really hope that if and when it makes it all the way through the stages of government, we don't see a just file full of, redacted names, a bunch of black marks and
that seems to be the history with
it does. So we shall see. This morning I watched the survivors' speeches and things like that before I went to the office, and it was moving. But then I also watched the Speaker of the House's excuses, I guess you could call them, on why it may not even be feasible for these things to be released, right? So then, of course, you have the speculation that, the list that comes out may just be the list of accusers and not actually the list of the accused,
right?
Which is really what we're after, right? That is really what we're after. So they held a vote on releasing the Epstein files today. Only one person voted against it. Both sides voted to release it, which is great. I mean, probably an historic vote where only one person voted against this thing. So I guess in that manner, okay, great, way to go, government, working together after a historic shutdown to do some nonsense? Did you help anybody with this aside from the survivors try to get closure for their bullshit and try to send some evil people to fucking prison? Like, all right, well, yeah, anyway, backing off, calm down. Yeah, so what does it mean for everyday life folks out here in Oregon and who are just trying to work, raise families, and not get crushed by, all this bullshit, right? So what does that mean for us?
Yeah, honestly, I think just having the trust, for getting again, this comes back to kind of like last week's conversation. What's the media giving us? It's true.
Right.
And, we're a democracy. We're supposed to work together, and that's whether we're on two different sides of the fence or not, I think we still want the same moral standings on things. Typically, most people in general have the same kind of morale. We want a good life. We want to wake up feeling good in the morning, and we want proper information.
I know a bunch of Americans that are looking forward to, the client list leading to a purge of evil individuals that have penetrated our government system, right? Conspiracy or not, I don't know, but it sounds righteous to me, right? If you're on that list and you were involved with doing things that go against every moral fiber and ethic ever written, or conceived of, then you probably be on the lookout, look over your shoulder, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. It seems like there's a buttload of people on that flight list that originally was dropped too. So it's interesting. I mean, what's the truth?
Right.
What's the truth at this point?
We can boil the truth down, to my perspective, where it's really elite versus political labels, right? Like you have elitists that have allowed things to happen. You can't just do what Epstein did without having
some kind of protection,
a network of
security
elite,
bubble,
people that can, move mountains for you, islands, planes,
literally islands,
all that stuff. It's outrageous to think that that they have to vote on it to release this stuff, right? And
it's nuts.
According to the Speaker of the House, it's because of these, court rulings and these other court rulings and this lawsuit and the other court cases and things like that, where people's identities have been protected by court rulings, by judges, saying that, sorry, we're not going to release that information. And now here we are as a government, as a society, trying to say, hey, well, why? Some people may be, disheartened by having their, realities, their truths put out into the public spaces. But at this point, I think it's necessary that we know the truth. I mean, we're all asking for it. The government's asking for it.
Yeah, again, we're going on, almost a decade coming up here?
Is the judicial system going to be the system that, ultimately decides whether or not this gets to come out because of past cases that have been already ruled upon? It's like, okay, well, we can't do that because it would negate all the rest of these cases. Well, fuck those cases, man. Redo them. I don't care. And yeah, it's taxpayer money redoing them. I get that. It's that's pretty much whatever. This is where we're at this point in time, right? We either see it through or we stop seeing it, right? So we need to see it through. And that's just my take. But.
Yeah. I honestly, it's been something going on so long and just taking it as it comes myself. It's just, I don't get too super duper involved in following what different news sources are saying myself. I still like to listen and hear. It seems like there's a lot of big wigs involved.
It sure does. It sure does.
It's an interesting topic. It's been made fun of a lot on comedy. It's also been taken to a level of media that like every news media when it comes back up starts covering it.
Protect the children. It's about protecting the children, right? But at the same time, it has become comedy. You can't just keep talking about the same thing in the same light and the same reference.
I mean, we got information.
You hung yourself in a jail cell? Come on. And what's happening with, his associate, who we won't name necessarily, but is outrageous, dude. It's, but, my personal harsh opinion, I'm not even going to state because, it's why go there. I'm not necessarily a man of violence, but don't push me,
Either the truth will come out or
yeah.
in the next 30, 40 years, then we'll get the information we deserve, just like many other things that have happened in the past for us. The generation and generation.
My children are fairly grown, but I still look at them as my children, and they deserve protection.
They deserve protection. Yeah, and they deserve proper information. I think it's really important. It's really easy to live life on the wrong tracks without the right information.
Right, and people want to know if we're finally getting answers or just another PDF.
Yeah,
full of black Sharpie, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. This looks like a fax document. You know what I mean?
Exactly. People feel institutions just don't tell the truth.
Yeah, when money is involved, man, money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and I guess, you could say, we're kind of like the Transparency News Network over here in Oregon, because you got to look through all the nonsense, all the fuzz to find the clear picture, right? I don't know if you're as old as I am, but I used to adjust bunny ears for a clear picture in my basement in Detroit before we had cable. So,
yeah.
It's like I'm used to working my way through the fuzz, so to speak. So yeah, how does this hit Oregon? Do we trust these institutions already over here? Do we trust our governor?
It divides a lot of people at the end of the day. I feel like that's where it really affects a lot of communities locally, especially like where we live. We live in what's considered a blue state, but our region is very red. And there's just a lot of division mentally over things. There's a lot of pointing fingers, and it kind of diverts and separates the sea of the main issue. There's still fish on both sides if you separate it, man. There's still something that's actually occurring here. The morals being lost, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The answer that people want and the idea of what's proper is being divided. Is the best way to say it, That's really what
I think people around here rely more on, word of mouth than mainstream news.
The mainstream news,
a lot of people, they buy into the rhetoric. They share all the bullshit on their socials and things like that. But you talk to them on the street in real life, just because I voted one way, they voted another, doesn't mean we don't shake hands, go to work together, and have a good day. Nobody's losing their jobs out here because there's a Democrat working next to a Republican. Okay, don't let the division lies we push towards you. That's not so much true. People out here, they value honesty, right?
Yeah.
And so as long as you're just honest about your opinion, you get respect. It's just the way it is. People out here, they don't play.
Be reputable.
Yeah, right. Just be reputable.
Just be reputable. Really, at the end of the day, just be responsible, be reputable, make your own choices. You're all entitled to your opinion.
And you hear it everywhere, right?
We're all born the same, but live different lives. You know what I mean?
Farmers markets, folks saying, just tell the truth,
And some of these things might affect you on a small scale, and that's, to each person is different, I'm not one to speak.
So that's the thing that's really all America's asking for, right? Is just tell the truth. That's enough. We're fed up. Anyway, all right. Epstein vote in the House of Representatives, moving up to the Senate. We'll see what happens. We'll give you an update next week on what did happen. By then, it should be all the way up to the president's desk. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how many Sharpie marks we come up with.
All right, so we're going to transition to the strange news, right?
All right.
So that's enough of the Shadow Files. Let's light it up. Some primetime Oregon wildness, right? 1970, Florence, Oregon, a dead whale washes up on the beach.
Not dead. In Florence.
In the 70s.
Okay,
Yeah,
recently we had the live baby.
Recently, the live baby humpback.
Right. Now, was the whale in the 70s a humpback as well?
I believe it was a similar whale. Yeah.
Was it a humpback whale? It was pretty large.
It was a little bit large.
And you guys can look up the YouTube videos of this too. So
yeah, definitely.
It's
we'll
very,
put the link in the comment section.
Very interesting.
And in the show notes on the RSS page. By the way, distribution got accepted. We're going live to all the major outlets: Spotify, iTunes, Anywhere you stream your podcasts, please look up the Ozone Podcast, share it with your friends, hit the likes, hit the 5 stars, comment, all that good stuff. We want to see you guys out there. We want to see us out there. We want to see the feedback. We want to hear the feedback. And, we want you guys to get involved. Let us know who we should have on as guests. If you have any specific conspiracies you want us to go over, anything like that, just let us know. Do all that good stuff. 1970, Florence, Oregon. Dead whale washes up on the beach, right? So what do they do instead of moving it or calling experts?
They talk to our local loggers. And Florence, Oregon, let's not forget, in 1970, very small populace.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got Mapleton right up the way, which is one of the more traditional towns. And Florence, I mean, still a really small coastal town. I love the area. I go there fish all the time. I have friends up there.
And if you haven't been to the Dunes, man,
beautiful area.
I'll tell you what, Oregon Dunes State Park goes all the way from Florence all the way to
Coos Bay, I believe.
To Coos Bay.
Yeah, huge stretch.
Huge
stretch. I think
awesome.
60 to 80
so much
miles.
fun. You get lost out there if you're not careful.
Beautiful. One of the only places in the world you can go from the ocean into the national forest on a bike or quad.
That's right. So Florence the whale. Instead of calling experts or whatever, the Oregon Highway Division got a hold of some loggers, and they got the brilliant idea to let's fill this thing with dynamite. Right? We're talking a half ton of explosives here, guys. Right?
Yeah, that's massive. That's a massive amount of explosives.
Why? Yeah, because of Oregon, right? Yeah. It's people out here.
You
hear an explosion out here on a Wednesday afternoon, and somebody was like that. Oh, Jimmy's blowing up some tannerite again. Like just the way it works out here. So boom, right? Chunks of whale go flying everywhere into the heavens, smashing cars.
Huge chunks of whale.
Reporters ducking. You know what I mean? Seagulls having an existential crisis.
People injured.
Yeah, it literally changed the policy on this, right? So obviously they can't do this no more. But imagine being the dude who suggested it, right? It's like, hey, how about we just fill this thing with dynamite?
This thing reeks. Let's blow it up.
Anyway, we're gonna put that link in the YouTube comments for the video of the whale.
It is
caution, use discretion.
Yeah, it is definitely something. If you're squeamish, you will see some guts hitting cars and people.
Back to the Yakuts, Oregon whale from this week. Many years later, they wash up. I wouldn't say all the time, but it happens. It's not irregular either.
No, I don't think for gray whales specifically, we have a pretty good populace of gray whales off the coastline. I know we have the humpbacks come through, but I've seen orcas off our coastline. I've seen the gray whales. I have never seen a humpback off of our. That's actually the first visual I've seen even online of a humpback. I know they go through. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
So, but very interesting. Definitely, it's strange. What happened? What was the choice here?
Right.
And the locals really tried their ass off for like a whole day before the Marine Corps took over a day to get down there.
Yeah,
with people to help out.
The outcome was unfortunate. Ended up euthanizing the whale.
Now, how are they going to move the whale?
That
are they going to blow it up?
I doubt. No, the policy changed.
That's right. Nobody said tannerite.
That's right. All right, and with that, we are moving on to our CD cover of the week.
Oh yeah, let's go get this.
Let's get that up there.
Let's get this bad boy on up here.
We are talking about Our Lady Peace. The album is Happiness. Tagline is, "It's not a fish you can catch."
What an interesting album cover. And for the type of music, emo music. The emo genre, which is, I don't know, this just doesn't scream emo to me.
You know what it screams to me is, dude, I don't know, man, dude is staring into my soul. Right there. He's staring into my soul. He looks disappointed in me. and he thinks that I should be trying harder. Why? I don't know, but that's my own mind, but that's what I'm getting from the way he's looking at me. His stash reminds me of like, Wyatt Earp or Garrett, Pat Garrett, something like that. He's got, some sideburns with the top hat. He looks like he's straight, maybe not a gunfighter, but maybe out of that era somewhere.
It looks like a guy playing a piano in an old Western bar.
There you go, yeah. I can get behind that, playing the piano, but instead of a piano, he's got his hands wrapped around a fish.
Yeah, it looks like a red. Is a
red snapper?
Like not a red snapper, but it might be. It might be a red snapper. Some kind of redfish for sure.
Some kind of redfish. I think he's supposed to be a farmer.
It's not even near water. That's the other thing that confuses me. This guy's like out in a dirty field or something.
Right? I mean, that might be water
beyond
on the coastline, beyond the greenery there.
You can't really tell.
As it touches the sky, it looks like it separates from water to sky, but that could also be like a Bible reference. You know what I mean? For like the firmament or some shit. Because Our Lady Peace, weren't they?
Feels like a guy trying to sell me some kind of essential oils back in the 1800s out of the back of his little wagon.
God, it's snake oil. It's made of fish.
It's made of fish.
He's made of fish. Right, for sure.
And again,
so the album's called Happiness, Our Lady Peace. Look it up. Great band, great album.
Great album. Just so again, this is one of those album covers like out of the. You look at this and you almost expect like Primus style music.
You would, yeah.
You know,
sure.
And if you guys are expecting Primus style music when you see this album cover, you are in for a treat.
Yeah.
This is definitely very different from their other album covers. I feel like they definitely have some better album covers that are a little more fitting to the genre.
Yeah, it's kind of like a college sophomore discovered philosophy.
With Happiness is the thing too. I would have expected something a little more, just out of the fact it's emo, something a little opposite.
Right.
Like Happiness and show a bunch of sad shit. That would have made more sense to me, but this is like so.
And maybe the idea here is that happiness, you teach a man to fish, he eats for the rest of his life. You give a man a fish.
Right.
Right, and he's happy. Right?
Yeah. Well, as a fisherman, not a horrible album cover, there's a fish on there.
Yeah. Right.
But definitely one that's subpar to the other ones for sure. Again, this is another album cover that's just does not match the music, does not match the vibe.
No, and that's why we chose it. That was the CD cover review. Roast, Our Lady Peace, Happiness. Listen to the album, give it a spin, check out the album cover, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments.
Great album, front to back, great album.
Absolutely, great album. Yeah, I mean, he does look like somebody denied him a sandwich, though, right? Like he's got a fish. He's like, hey.
Got a little bit Robert De Niro look.
Why didn't I get my piece over here? All right, that's episode 2. Epstein Vote, The Exploding Whale, a Canadian emo enlightened session. If you're listening from Grants Pass, if you're listening from Medford, anywhere around the world, we thank you for tuning in. I'm Lee Spivey.
I'm Alec Vernier.
We'll see you in episode 3.